Visa application for some nationalities could be restricted. Remember, this said could be restricted, not saying that it has been restricted. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fajira. If you're seeing this beautiful face for the very first time, I'm so happy to have you all in our beautiful family. And I create content on everything that has to do with UK, immigration, jobs with visa sponsorship, life in the UK, studies in the UK, like everything you can think about the UK. So I also share both good and bad news. This is perceived as bad news, but trust me, I'll always share with you so you can prepare yourself. So if you're someone who is interested in such content, please do hit on that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, so each time I upload a new video, you're going to be the very first person to see that video. So guys, let's quickly dive right into today's video. The UK government has been doing a lot when it comes to net migration. I know everyone is tired, including myself. I am also very tired about this updates on net migration, cutting down net migration. October is going to make my 14th year in the UK. And since I moved to the UK, the news I've heard till date is about cutting down net migration. It's no longer new to me, and I know to also a few people watching this video. I moved to the UK as a student 13 years ago. My set was the first set that they restricted from getting a post-study work visa, which means that when you finish your studies, you have to go back, except you're able to find a job with sponsorship. And it was really difficult finding a job with sponsorship then, unlike what it is now. And I usually tell my viewers, like, this time you've come to the UK is actually the best time, because when it comes to jobs with visa sponsorship, back then, we didn't have a lot of information out there for us to help ourselves with, unlike now that almost everyone is sharing information about UK updates and all of that. So the UK government is trying to restrict. They are trying to restrict. From what it says, that visa application for some nationalities could be restricted. And like we know, each time there's a topic like this, it won't take time and something will happen. They've already listed out the countries that will be restricted, but is this something you should be worried about from now? I would say no. Do not worry about it from now. All you need to do is for you to start thinking of what next. How do you want to migrate? Or if you're still in the UK, how do you want to continuously stay legal in the UK? I would always say that the best thing that could happen to anybody in this UK is to stay here legally and do not have a complicated application. As you can see, visa application from nationalities thought most likely to overstay and claim asylum in the UK could be restricted under a new government crackdown. Could be restricted, remember. Under Home Office plans, first report in the Times, people from countries such as Pakistan, Nigeria, my beautiful country, and Sri Lanka may find it more difficult to come to the UK to work and study. Remember, may find it more difficult. They didn't say you're going to find it more difficult. Now, even if they want to put a restriction or put a ban, they've not said they are putting a ban on this, because they cannot just restrict a whole country from applying for a UK visa. What they could do is to upgrade the visa requirement to make sure that they set it to a target that only few people will be able to apply for the visa, not necessarily banning people from these three countries. Now, ministers believe there is a particular problem with those who come to the UK legally on work or study visas and then lodge a claim for asylum, which, if granted, would allow them to stay in the country permanently. This is true. To be honest, have filmed several videos on this platform. They initially found out that a lot of students who came to the UK in the last few years, they went to seek asylum. Also, another update as well about people coming as care workers and going to seek asylum, which, of a truth, if you're coming to the UK as a care worker or maybe as a student, one of the things you need to do is for you to make sure that you adhere to all your visa regulations. Now, you need to have a job in the UK to continue to keep you in the UK. You need to complete your studies for you to be able to switch to another category of visa. Now, most of the people that went to seek asylum, from reports, are those that didn't even complete their studies, are those that couldn't complete their tuition fee. For those who went to seek asylum and still going to seek asylum that came as care workers or any other work visa, were those that got their licenses revoked, which is why what the UK government have done now is that if you came as a carer and your license is revoked, there is an organization set up for you to contact for them to help you to be able to find another organization, because they have found out that this is a big problem in the UK. Like, a lot of people just come and next thing, they are seeking asylum. A lot of people just come and the company that brought them do not have hours for them, which have contributed to this. But now finding out that Nigeria is on the list was kind of disappointing. But at the same time, I wasn't really surprised. Is this a wake-up call to Nigeria government? I would say yes. This should be a wake-up call, because all Nigeria youths, all Nigeria doctors and nurses, they are studying to just come abroad to better their life. So this is a wake-up call for Nigeria government. To find Nigeria on this list is quite disappointing. But this is not the end of Nigerians coming to the UK. Bearing in mind that this is not only going to affect work and study visa, it is also going to affect visit visa, because a lot of people come to the UK as visitors, and after their 6 months, they do not go back and they go to apply for asylum. Now, people have forgotten that when it comes to asylum application, you have to submit the first time. If it's approved, second time. Now, you're not only submitting the application just blank like that. You need some evidences for you to add to your claims. And in most cases, just a few people have those evidences to like show that, yeah, their country is really risky for them to go back to. Now, another thing I need my viewers to understand is that seeking asylum is not a solution when you migrate to the UK, because the asylum route is 20 years. I know of a woman that had actually completed this 20 years, but it has still not been approved. So this is not like, oh, just come to the UK. Once you get to the UK, you go and seek asylum and so on. You need to have a valid reason why you cannot go back to your country. The system has been abused, which is why all of these things is happening. As you can see as well on my screen, a Home Office spokesperson said, our upcoming immigration white paper will set out a comprehensive plan to restore order to our broken immigration system. The white paper will be released sometime this month. It's not yet out. So if you're still planning to move to the UK, still carry on with your plans and make sure you're able to meet up with everything you need to do to move to the UK. However, even if this white paper is released, trust me, I'm not thinking they are going to say Nigerians do not apply for UK visa. They are just going to make the requirement a bit tough. And if you're genuinely planning to come to the UK to study, to work, I'm sure you will always meet the requirements. Now, one of the things we need to take into account is that even if it's 1 or 2 people or 3 people that abuse the system, there are still genuine people who plan to come to the UK and not to overstay. Okay, let me use myself as an example. I remember when I moved to the UK, I was meant to come to the UK in January. I had my wedding in February and I deferred my admission to September. Now, the new rules began in April of that year, and when the new rules came that students can no longer have a post-study work visa, I felt really bad, yeah, because it started from my set. The set that came in January, which was my original set, they had post-study work. I didn't have. When I completed my studies, my husband completed his master's, we went back to our country and applied for another visa. Once you're able to keep your file straight with the immigration office, you will not have any complications. One of the things I want you to take out from this video is that if you know that there is no other way, once you come to the UK, maybe you have completed your studies, you've used your post-study work visa, or maybe the job that brought you is no more there, you've been asked to leave, and so on. My suggestion and my advice is that you're better off going and apply for another visa to come back to the UK. Because the thing is, once you've stayed in the UK, you've already gained experience and you know how to apply for jobs, even if you've gone back to your country. So you overstaying is just going to make things very difficult for you, because one, maybe you become an overstayer without seeking asylum. You cannot work legally in any organization. You cannot even do a lot of things that people who are in the UK are doing legally. And you will just, I would just say, you just keep wasting your time until maybe the day you will be caught and you'll be sent back. So please do like and share this video to your friends and loved ones. My advice to you is, if you've come to the UK legally and you've seen that you've got few days or few months left and you've not been able to secure anything that will continue to make you stay in the UK legally, my advice is for you to go back and come back, because this asylum thing, people really do not understand what it takes. Like I mentioned earlier, that I know of someone who has stayed on this for 20 years. Until now, this person has not been given her permanent residence, which is why you have to know that it is not just a straightforward route. It is not clear which nationalities are most likely to overstay their visas, as the Home Office has not published statistics on exit checks since 2020. due to review into the accuracy of the figures. Many exits from the UK can go unrecorded, meaning those without a departure record were not necessarily still in the UK. Professor Jonathan Pott, a senior fellow at the academic think tank UK in A Changing Europe, said the impact that restricting visas would have on the number of asylum applications was likely to be quite small. A lot of people still come to the UK by boat. Few days ago, hundreds of people arrived in the UK by boat. Now, these people did not pay for visa application. They did not pay for anything. They just arrived in the UK. They are given hotels, they are given accommodations, they are given monies. But people who actually paid for their visa application. Sometimes I begin to wonder what is actually going on, because those people that the target is on are mostly people that actually paid for their visa, paid for their IHS, paid for this. What happens to those that come by boat? And bear in mind that most of those people that come by boat, they've paid the gangmaster to transport them to the UK. What they have paid to the gangmasters cannot contribute anything in the UK economy. Unlike those who apply for visa to come and study, to come to work, to visit, and so on. As you can see on my screen, latest Home Office figures show that more than 108,000 people claimed asylum in the UK last year, the highest level since record began in 1979. Now, there is a breakdown here. I'm glad that Nigeria is even the least, even on the breakdown, as you can see. In total, 10,542 Pakistani nationals claimed asylum, the most of any nationality. Some 2,862 Sri Lankan nationals and 2,841 Nigerian nationals claimed asylum in the same period, which means that Nigeria is the lowest on this list. So this is not to put out Nigeria out there to say, oh, Nigerians or this. You can see from the report to say that only 2,841 Nigerians claimed asylum in the UK. Latest figures for 2023-2024 also shows there were 732,285 international students in the UK, with most coming from India, 107,480, and China, 98,400. So the number of UK work and study visas dropped in 2024 compared to the year before. Remember, the Conservative government, they actually put a ban on coming to the UK with your dependents. They put a ban on so many things. Now the Labour Party have taken over from there, and we can see that the figures are going down. But now, should you be worried about restricting Nigerians? This is not a ban. They didn't say ban. I'm sure they are just going to make the visa requirements more difficult. This is not a ban. So for those saying it's a ban or whatever, guys, it's not a ban on Nigerians yet. The UK government will not ban Nigerians. Nigeria and the UK have got a strong tie. They are not going to ban Nigerians from coming to the UK. But this is like I would say that if you're planning to come to the UK, this is the best time for you to make sure that you do everything right. And another thing, I keep saying this on this platform, and I will keep saying it all the time, that no matter what happens during your stay, do not become an overstayer. Do not become an overstayer. Because once you do, your visa application will be complicated. And once it's complicated, you're getting your permanent residency and your British passport could take longer. Yeah, which is not what I pray for my viewers. So is this something you should be worried about? Guys, for now, I would say do not worry so much about it until this white paper is published. Under our plan for changing, our upcoming immigration white paper will set out a comprehensive plan to restore order to our broken immigration system. So let's see what is going to come out. It's going to be definitely this month. Once it's out, I will come and share with you. But this is not when to panic. Yes, do not panic. Your plan is to come to the UK. Yeah, still make your plans and be ready for any changes in your visa application. If you're currently in the UK and your plan is to carry on to stay, like I would say, make sure you are always looking for an opportunity, a genuine opportunity to stay in the UK, not going for asylum. So guys, this brings us to the end of today's video, and I hope you find this video helpful. And if you do find this video helpful, please do like and also share with your friends and loved ones, and also subscribe if you're yet to join our beautiful family. Until I see you in my next one, take care and have a lovely day. Bye bye for now.